Hello, my name is John Kanwano and I'm the team leader at Jonaki Holdings Limited, where we get to support you if you have financial needs, if you need money, if you have a consignment that you're stuck with, if you have that vehicle that you've always wanted and just want a small top-up, we get to support you. If you have a construction project, a house, you're stuck with it, we get to support you and walk with you that journey. Another interesting topic, we're focusing majorly on money lending, that is loan disbursements versus loan collections. It is important to note that the money that you have disbursed, ultimately you have to collect it. Because look, you don't have an incessant source of money. You're not picking money from the ground that it cannot get depleted. So until you balance the two, then you lose the balance. And you see what happens when you lose the balance, you get out of business. You see, when you get out of business, it does not affect you alone, but it affects the staff that you employ, it affects the dependents, it affects the clients, because I think that anyone who is operating in any particular business has a particular gap they're closing, has a particular niche they serve, has a particular reason, a uniqueness that they carry, meaning that if they miss out in the market, then there's some uniqueness that is missing in the market. So it exists in that market for a reason. So that means there are some clients that don't miss you if you get out of business. And that's why I endeavor that I make time and share with us. So you need to balance the loan disbursements and the loan collections. So I want to get you to an interesting area. There's what we call portfolio at risk. Portfolio at risk. So this measures how much it is that you have disbursed versus how much it is that comes back. It highlights the amount of money that you have in the business that is exposed to a risk. In a period of 30 days, in a period of 60 days, in a period of 90 to 180 days. Now, that's when, if the loan transitions from the 30 days, it goes to 60 days, then it goes to the bracket of 90 to 180 days, that's when some of the banks or some of the financial institutions start thinking about doing a provision. Because by the time the person fails to pay in 180 days, the likelihood of collecting that money will be very minimal. So you need to start thinking about how you can actually share yourself, but as well as see how you can actually write off that loan facility. So I want to share with you a practical example. If you've been lending money, it is important to know that, you know what, I have this main headquarters, or I have this branch. I'm going to put 200 million or 300 million in this branch. And in this 300 million I put in this branch, this much has to be disbursed per day. This much has to be disbursed per month. This much has to be disbursed per quarter. Because that ultimately informs the targets of the individual staff that you have. Individual staff that you have. Because if you're paying staff and you have any targets for them, and you're not even sure of what it is that you want disbursed in a month, then that means even the staff will get confused, because anything that is not clear to you as the owner of the business, as a team leader, then that means it cannot even be as clear to the staff. And you know what? You're paying these guys, but they do not know what it is that they're meant to do. Why? And it's not their fault. It is you, the leader, because you have not highlighted what it is that has to be done. Because if you employ me and you don't specify the targets that you need from me, I may find it hard to give you those targets. So that ultimately feeds the disbursements that you have at hand. So you have to reach a moment, in case you know the targets, you have to reach a moment and put what we call a lending stop. You put a lending stop. Now I'm transitioning you from the loan disbursements. Now I'm assuming that you've set the targets for the staff, you've set the targets for the branch or for the headquarters or the mother company that you have. Now you're already lending out money. But as you lend out, like I opened in my statement, you have to think about collections. So time comes when probably you've lent out much more money, but the collections are not happening. And you're struggling. You have a portfolio probably 1 billion shillings, but you cannot even service a loan of 10 million. That means there's a problem. Because as you give out the money, it should actually come back. So if the collections are minimal versus the money you're disbursing, it is important to think about, how do I collect this money? That's what we do at Jonaki Holdings Limited. You put a lending stop. You tell the staff or the branch, and you say, look, you had 500 million at the start of the quarter. You disbursed all of it, but you can barely collect even 20 million a week. That means we don't have any money to lend out. So you put them on a lending stop and tell them you have to collect at least 70% of the money that is out there. But you don't have to first wait to reach a crisis of, putting a lending stop. The system should be able to help you. And you may have to check out one of my videos on systems, because they'll accord you the freedom, but also the systems will help you to monitor your business. Because by the time you get to the red spot, it is already sometimes too late. Because the moment you put a lending stop, that means the staff are not going to have results. And before you know it, you're going to lose staff. But there are the staff that have been interacting with the clients. That means you're going to start exposing your money, because the clients are used to this guy, but the guy has left. What if that guy even connived, or even starts calling the staff to tell them, look, me, I left, you may choose to pay, may not choose to pay. So some of the loans might become bad because there is a rapport that was established between a staff and the client, and it's no longer existed. So it's important that as you lend, you think about collections, and they have to be in sync, or else it will affect the profitability of the business, it will affect your progress, it will affect your growth, but also ultimately it may expose a part of your money or a chunk of your money to potential loss. Because if you have a portfolio at risk of more than 10%, then it is a red flag. It is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you're getting out of business. So it's important that the maximum portfolio at risk that you should expose should be 10%. But if you don't have a system in place to tell you your exposure is this much in this period, then you might not be able to know it. So it takes me back to check out the video that I shared on systems, but also to sign up for the masterminds that I run, because iron sharpens iron. Just like I learned from someone, it is important that you also learn from me. You may learn from me, you may learn from someone else, but make sure that the person that you're learning from first is doing what it is that you want to learn, or what it is that you want to do, but also make sure that they're doing well in the industry that you intend to join, that you're playing, or that you're playing in. But also make sure that you have shared values, because values are very important, that you have shared values with that person who is supporting you. But one thing I emphasize is that get someone to hold your hand, get someone to support you, because you're trading in a very sensitive industry, because you're trading with money, and it is a very risky thing. Any mistake that you make is a cost, and not just a small cost. Sometimes the cost might be huge. And that's why I endeavor to make time to speak to us, because someone has spoken to me, someone has supported me. So I look forward to supporting someone to grow. I receive your testimonies. I appreciate your testimonies. I appreciate your comments. Continue to subscribe and like and comment, because that gives me energy. That gives me, strength to continue pushing, to continue sharing with you of what the Lord has put on my heart, but also what I have experienced in this business, so that we can grow together, so that we can clean up this industry, and then together we shall be at the top. So subscribe, like our YouTube channel, comment, ask questions, and always check us out at www.jonakiholdings.com. And always refer us in case you have someone who needs some money. We're going to support you with the money. So see you in my next video, and God bless you. I hope you've learned something. If you've learned something, go out there and implement, because I always say, if you learn and you don't implement, you're just building castles in the air. So it's until you learn and implement that you're going to benefit from these videos. God bless you. See you